What's up, everyone? Welcome back to more Vintage Cube. Still forcing Storm, and this pack actually looks pretty great for Storm. There's Underworld Breach. I've been liking this card a lot. It's maybe even better than Past in Flames in certain decks. There's also High Tide and some good lands. Blue Delta, Library, Triumph would be fine. But I think I'll take the High Tide, and then the Underworld Breach I think is more likely to wheel than the High Tide, so I'll try to do that. We get past Jace, which is, it's definitely good in Storm. Anything that draws cards is good in Storm, and Jace can also control the board a little bit. And then there's also Wishclaw Talisman, but I think I'll take the Jace. It's good to cut blue also, and I'm starting with High Tide, so ideally I could even play mono blue High Tide, but it's almost impossible to get that deck just because of how in demand the blue cards are in Vintage Cube. But we'll at least try it. Now there's Tropical Island. This card is really important in High Tide Storm. There's a lot of green cards that go really well in this style of deck. You usually want to be heavy blue, splash green. Stuff like Secure a Tribe Elder or Cultivate, Astbond especially. But yeah, there's a few really good green cards. There's also Memory Jar, but yeah, I think the Trop is more important. Now there's two more good lands, Steam Vents and Breeding Pool. I think I'll just take the Steam Vents. Muldrifter is just like a very average card draw spell. I'm happy to take another dual land that I can fetch. You usually want to splash red too, at least for Wheel of Fortune. And for the Underworld Breach, we're hoping to get that back. So blue is not getting past, and it looks like Storm cards are also not getting past. So that's not a great start, but there is Ulamog, so I guess I'll just take that. It's an okay win condition. It's also Walking Ballista. You really need like infinite mana if you want to just win with one Walking Ballista. Or Ulamog, you just have to get to 11. So I'll speculate on the Ulamog. Okay, here is a Ritual. I don't love Dig Through Time. A lot of times you don't want to delve away your graveyard in these Storm decks. You want to like recycle it with Time Twister or Past in Flames. So yeah, I don't love the delve cards. I really like Courser of Kruphix too. This is actually kind of a tough pick, because if I get Fast Bond, Courser is like very important. And the fact that it gains you life for each land you play is really important too. So I think I'll just take the Courser, and I'll stay a little bit hedged, just because there's only one Courser in the cube. There's a lot of rituals. Pyretic Ritual is a little bit replaceable. It's not looking like traditional Storm is open. I'm not seeing any of the win conditions, the black rituals. It could be cut. It's still early in the draft, but so I actually like Tamiyo. There's also two good lands. I think I'm just going to take the Tamiyo. If you ultimate this, it's really good in Storm. It reduces every spell's cost by 2 colorless. It's kind of awesome. So green is definitely open. We're getting past so many good dual lands. And I do like Tireless Tracker in the blue-green Storm. You kind of need to get Fast Bond to really go off with it. Watery Grave, also pretty important. Yeah, I think I'll take the land. Okay, we did table the Breach. Well, our mana base is going to be good. I like Kaito, but yeah, maybe we won't play black. we're at least looking at playing green, blue, and red in this deck. Witherbloom Command, maybe I can play that. I'll just take the Thalia, even though this is a league. I don't want to play against Thalia. Okay, white is open. So we tabled the Breach, but we didn't really get any other Storm cards. I'm not sure exactly what that means. It's possible a lot of them weren't opened. It's possible someone is like hedging and they're like halfway in Storm. So we have a few ways we can go with this draft. Ideally, I don't want to have to go into blue-green Storm unless we really get the cards for it. Okay, so Mox Jet, this is pretty great. And there's also Lion's Eye Diamond, which might even be better in the Storm deck than a random Mox. So yeah, this pack will tell us if Storm is actually cut, because I'm going to have to take the Mox. And then we'll see if the LED wheels. Here's Turnabout to go with the High Tide. There's some decent blue cards, Time Warp and Click, but yeah, I'm happy to take Turnabout. More dual lands, but maybe we can assume that those will wheel given how many lands we got in the first pack. I think the drafters at this table might not be prioritizing them. I guess I'll just take Hullbreaker Horror. This is the deck for it. We've had a few Hullbreaker Horror decks so far, and they haven't been the best performing, but it is a way to win. Here's the Omnath again. Maybe I should go 4-color Storm again. That deck was pretty fun and pretty powerful, actually. This is kind of a tough pick. Sylvan Library. I really like Sylvan with Courser of Kruphix, so I'll take it. Though I've mentioned before I don't love this in the Storm decks, but it is so good with Courser. You just can set up a land on top of your library almost every turn to get value. Okay, here's Mana Flare, which will be fine. It's looking like we're going that direction. High Tide and Mana Flare plus Turnabout untap effects. I like this more than Thran Dynamo. Yeah, 5-color is definitely open. We're seeing the Niv Mizzet, Knight of Autumn. I could plan to wheel some of those. Maybe just take a land here. Spara's Headquarters. Yeah, this one's pretty good actually. Forest Plains Island. Let's take that and see if maybe if we wheel the Omnath and the Niv Mizzet, maybe we can do that. I like to take Chart a Course here. We're kind of missing card draw so far. We just have Jace in Library, which is kind of slow. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Storm is not open this draft at this point. It's really heavily cut, actually. Fencer looks good here. Let's see, now is this the pack that we opened? Yeah, this one had the Lion's Eye Diamond in it, which got taken. Yeah, so these are the tough drafts. Maybe I just take Shark Typhoon. Yeah, Shark Typhoon, it's not Storm, but it is a pretty awesome way to win. Maybe this is the deck for Wake? Okay, it looks like the Omnath didn't table, so that's too bad. So I guess I'll take the Bayou. Maybe there will be a black card. The Tundra will help me cast Wake, but I don't really think I'm going to play the Wake. Okay, now, yeah, Omnath was in this pack, so I can take Krasis or Gilded Lotus. I think it makes sense to take the Krasis. Okay, so the Omnath did not wheel, but the Niv Mizzet did. Last pick Thespian Stage. That's kind of surprising. I feel like it's good for any deck to just pick that card up. So we're kind of missing a identity for this deck. But okay, here's Brain Freeze, and we do have Underworld Breach to go with it. But our deck is just really bad at storming. It's not great at casting a lot of spells so that you can actually Brain Freeze. But yeah, maybe I think I just take the Brain Freeze, and then we'll have to assemble the 2-card combo, Brain Freeze plus Underworld Breach. And then you Brain Freeze yourself, and then you get cards in your graveyard, and then you escape Brain Freeze yourself again, and then you target the opponent. So yeah, I can't risk passing this. It's the other Storm player at the table will definitely take it. So I would like to just find some card draw spells that will let me chain them together to get my Storm count up. But I also like this Signet. Our deck is really missing acceleration besides the Mox Jet that we have. So anything that can accelerate us into these Planeswalkers will be pretty good. Wow, okay, so get past an Oko, and yeah, I'm not going to be able to pass that up, I don't think. Yeah, I would like to get some more artifacts so I can go infinite with Hullbreaker Horror. I think Signet plus Jet, yeah, this is enough to get infinite Storm. It doesn't give infinite mana, but it gives infinite Storm. There are some good cards here. I don't think we need the Sphinx. Maybe the Sphinx would be fine. I kind of like taking the Sphinx and just adding to our fair plan and maybe table the Escape to the Wilds. This is not going to be the best Storm deck, but it's like half Storm, half like fair Planeswalkers. Birds of Paradise, this is really good with Oko. Yeah, I think it's good enough. Okay, here's yet another Planeswalker. And we can definitely splash it. I have so many free black sources. Watery Grave, Bayou, Signet, Birds of Paradise, Mox Jet. And then here's Heartbeat of Spring. But yeah, I don't think we need Heartbeat of Spring, or maybe we can even wheel it. I already have Mana Flare and High Tide. So this deck will be more of like a tactical Storm deck. It's not trying to go all in on the combo. Okay, Simic Signet. This is one of the best Signets we could get. Yeah, I like this plan of just ramping up to the Sphinx and the Planeswalkers. Blue cards here are pretty decent too. Okay, now here's Fact or Fiction. I don't think I can pass this one. I would like to get another card draw spell. Xander's Lounge would be pretty good though. But our mana is decent at this point. Okay, Dryad, I like this card too. Combos with High Tide. It kind of combos with Courser, lets you play another land off the top of your library. So this is another deck where Seething Song is just kind of out of place. It's kind of good with Underworld Breach. But I think I'll just take the Sanctum. Emrakul. This is another win condition. It could be good, actually. I like Manamorphose, too. Now, let's take the Emrakul. This card is kind of sweet. Okay, Escape to the Wilds. Could play that. I'm not sure if we will, though. Okay, this is a bit of a different style deck. It's really not all in on the Storm. On the Storm win condition. This is 25 cards. I kind of like cutting the Mana Flare, because it's only really good with Hullbreaker Horror. Like, even Mana Flare into casting Ulamog is kind of sketchy, because what, am I going to use the Ulamog trigger to destroy the Mana Flare so my opponent doesn't get access to it? It's just such a liability to give them the Mana Flare. And this deck is not great at like winning right away on the Storm turn. I think I want to actually cut that. Then I should probably cut an expensive card, or maybe Escape to the Wilds. I think I might have too much top end. I have Shark Typhoon, Consecrated Sphinx, 2 Eldrazi, Hydroid Krasis. I think that might be just too much. So I think I want to cut the Hydroid Krasis. I think Shark Typhoon might be the worst card, but it's also really sweet, so I'm going to keep it in. I want to try to like Shark Typhoon, Hullbreaker Horror, Infinite Signet loop. That will just be amazing, so we definitely got to try that. All right, I added in some basics. Maybe I don't need the basic mountain. Yeah, I don't think I need the basic mountain. My red spells come very late in the game. Let's just put one more forest. Here we are for round 1. We're on the draw with our definitely Storm deck. You can clearly tell that this is a Storm deck because of Underworld Breach, but we're going to win with turn 2 Oko. Okay, maybe have spoken too soon. Red. With a turn 1 Ragavan, this could be difficult. Ragavan plus Urza Saga, that's a pretty decent combo. Okay, so I can Elk the Ragavan, but I don't think that's really going to work. I'm going to start setting up my little army of food tokens. Okay, they decide to attack me. And they hit a Signet, so they can play the Signet if they want to. Then they'll still have enough mana to activate the Saga, so that is what they're going to do. Okay, so I'll make a 3/3. Then I think playing Cameo makes sense. I'll have to tap the Ragavan. But they will make a construct here. And then, so that's they're gonna have the construct plus the Signet, so it'll be a 2/2, and then on their turn, they'll turn it into a 3/3. How am I gonna beat this Vortex is the thing. Yeah, I suppose that I'll pass here. But I am at 10. Don't think I have a way. I have Venser to bounce the Vortex. And I have Hullbreaker Horror. Those are probably going to be a little too slow to bounce it. Okay, oh no, yeah, they have Chromox. Okay, so the construct's going to be a 4/4, so I'll have to chump block here. That's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, and they have Eidolon, so I can't storm off. Okay, there's Hullbreaker Horror. But yeah, I don't have any of my fast mana. Tap the Construct. Turn the bird into a 3/3. I guess I'm dead this game. Yeah, Vortex is a tough one. Yeah, that was just a very good draw from the red deck. And they do have Eidolon of the Great Revel. Not a huge problem for this deck. Graces is usually good in this matchup, so I'll take out the Shark Typhoon. And then I could take out another really expensive card. And like put Daze into the deck. Show and Tell could also be good. Yeah, I actually like Show and Tell. Okay, maybe I put back in the Ulamog, take out the Daze. Yeah, Show and Tell is just good against mono red. And then take out the Escape to the Wilds because it's very slow. I think this hand is a little too slow and it has these redundant 6/7 drops, and it actually is missing double blue. So I'm gonna mulligan. And this hand is really sketchy. But I think I have to keep. What do I do with this deck? Bottom the Brain Freeze. Yeah, Brain Freeze is the worst card. I want to keep the Ulamog because I think drawing Show and Tell is one way that this hand can win. This is definitely not a great hand. Jet. I'm going to play the Jet in case they have Eidolon of the Great Revel. Yeah, we just needed to draw land in the first 2 turns. Probably going to just be too slow now. Okay, so I can play the creature. Yeah, I think I start with this, but I don't really see a way to get out of this. Maybe I should have went to 5. This deck doesn't mulligan great, though, is the thing. All right, well, very anticlimactic, but let's move on to the next match. We are back for round 2, and we're on the play. This hand has a turn 3 Oko, so that's not bad. The rest of the hand doesn't work that well together. So we're mostly just hoping to draw some lands here. Okay, well, it looks like we can probably resolve the Oko, so that's good. Escape to the Wilds. That will be decent, but we need red mana still. So if I have nothing else, I'll definitely cycle the Shark Typhoon next turn. So it looks like my opponent is either on a Grixis slower control deck or they're playing Storm. Just given the cards that we've seen and how slow they're going, it honestly kind of looks like they're playing Storm. This is kind of a tough choice, but I'm going to cycle the Shark Typhoon. I want to make my clock faster because I just have a feeling that they're playing Storm. So one way this game could go is I'll cycle the Shark Typhoon here. If I can draw into a land, then I could even Elk the Signet, and then I'll be able to attack with 8 power of creatures next turn. And then I can even turn about my opponent's lands on one of the turns to stop them from comboing off. Yeah, so there is the Electromancer, so they're definitely on Storm. Okay, we did not find the untapped land. So hopefully this is enough to slow them down. I could Elk their Signet and take them off even more mana, but I'm basically forcing them to go off this turn without the Electromancer now. And, you know, there's definitely a chance they can win from here. But I think this way lets me keep my clock fast. Then next turn I'll probably hold up the turnabout. Okay, it looks like they're tapping out here, so they're setting up to try to win next turn. Unless they have, like, Black Lotus here. No, they don't. Okay, so I have another turn. I can attack for 8. And then, alternatively, I could attack for 5. And I could Elk the Gilded Lotus. This is a pretty sweet combo. I don't know if I've done this before. Elk it, and then bounce it. And then I'll just tap all their lands here. This is sweet. I'm like a Storm control deck, using my turnabout to time walk them. Okay, this is kind of crazy. So they've tapped their lands in response. And now after I do this, they're not going to be able to undo that. So now I can just go artifact. Tap their artifacts. Now everything's tapped. Okay, so they're trying to win with Brain Freeze. And so yeah, I have the Ulamog protection even. It's pretty awesome. This could be a tough matchup for my opponent. We'll see if they have another win condition besides Brain Freeze. I think I'll just wait on the chart, of course. Probably not going to change my next 2 turns. I'm probably just going to play the 2 Planeswalkers. So I think I want to Elk the Jar, actually. They have so much mana already, I don't want to let them take a Memory Jar turn next turn. And just the 3/3 on its own, it won't be able to kill this Oko. Although it will put some pressure on my Jace, so that's kind of awkward. But I still like making this play. Maybe I can plus the Jace. Okay, they're getting a whole lot of mana. Okay, now I can just wrist, and this can block the Memory Jar. Opponent is just attacking me, so that makes me think that they might have Tendrils of Agony in their deck, just trying to get my life total down. This Gilded Lotus? I have a lot of mana. Okay, it looks like they have a pretty decent Storm deck. Mana Flare plus Time Spiral, and Mana Crypt, and Mox Ruby. Yeah, they have really good mana. We still need to see a win condition that is not Brain Freeze. Okay, there's the Brain Freeze. Down to 9 cards. Still with the Ulamog in deck. Okay, and they have tendrils for 18. But I will just sacrifice this food. And let's see if we can survive. I think they might not have realized I could sacrifice that food. Ooh, okay, they have Echo. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, they have a pretty decent Storm deck. They have 3 draw 7s. They have the 2 black rituals. Shelldock. Yeah, this is a totally solid Storm deck. Okay, we drew the Ulamog. What am I going to do about that? I discard it. Mana Flare is in play, so I have access to... No, okay, I can play Ulamog. And destroy the Bolas' Citadel. But I'm in danger of dying to Brain Freeze now. Or I can sacrifice the Ulamog to Grist. I have Brain Freeze in my deck still, and their library is pretty low. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna be dead, because I'm at danger of dying to Brain Freeze and Tendrils. I need them to not get either of those. I have 16 mana. Can bounce something with Ulamog. Or sorry, with Venser. Destroy the Citadel. Sacrifice the Ulamog. That seems kind of crazy. What is Venser going to do? Okay, I think I'm just going to play it like this. And now I have Venser up. But also importantly, I still have mana up, so if they cast this Echo of Aeons and I draw into Brain Freeze, that's like a sneaky way I can win this game. Is like Brain Freezing them before they cast a card draw spell. I feel like probably under 10% chance to win here, though. They just need to find one of their win conditions. Both of them can kill me pretty easily. Past in Flames. Yeah, they have a pretty good Storm deck. Yep, okay. That was enough to win. Definitely a tough matchup. Okay, I just need them to not have like Mana Crypt and like all of their fast mana this game. We didn't draw our fast mana either, but Dryad could help. Should I go Sylvan or Signet? I think Signet might be a little bit better if I can hit land, get a little bit lucky next turn to play the Jace. I think that could be really good. Yeah, they have a lot of fast mana again, so this will be definitely could be a little difficult. They're at the point where they're going to be playing one of their draw sevens. So I'm not going to brainstorm because I think pretty good chance we just get like Wheel of Fortune here. So, but yeah, I feel very behind in this game, and I'm just... Yeah, I think the way that I can win is if they somehow don't have card draw in their hand, so I just need to get lucky and have them have like all mana. But yeah, it looks like they have Time Spiral here. Okay, well, they discarded their Tendrils, so that's a good start for us. I mean, maybe they just whiff on their combo here. I figured it would be pretty hard for them to do that, but we still have the Ulamog. Oh, wow, they have Red Blast for the Jace. Okay. We have 5 card types in Grave, so we're fairly close to playing this Emrakul. Play it in 2 turns. Repeal the Signet, okay. That does set us back a turn, I think. Looks like they might have whiffed. Oh yeah, I'm just setting up to play Emrakul next turn. Cost 8. I have 6 mana in play. Play both of these lands, so if I can survive this turn, decent chance we can win with Emrakul, because we can definitely mess up whatever they have going on. But let's see if they have Past in Flames is definitely going to be lethal here. Yeah, they're going to have a ton of draws at it. And they have Sheldock Isle, so pretty low chance here. And there's the Echo of Aeons. So at the very least, they can cast that. There's the Past in Flames, so yeah, they just need to get up to 9 Storm. I think they can do it. 6, they have 11 mana. Yeah, even the repeal on our Signet messes me up again here. Mana Flare, so now they have 12 mana. They need to play 3 more spells. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they have it. All right. Good games. Here we are for the last round. We're on the draw. This hand looks fine. This deck has really not been performing, but I think the last matchup was a tough one. This like Planeswalker control style deck, it's really bad against Storm. The only way to beat Storm is like counter spells, discard spells, or if you actually have a fast clock, like if you're playing an aggro deck, you can just beat Storm by racing it. And this deck we have, it doesn't do any of that. So mid-range, that's kind of like our good matchups. I can play Tamiyo and tap the Woe Strider. Don't love that. Let's just play the island. We're building up to a big high tide turn. I'll just factor fiction here. Interesting. So they're like a token smokestack deck. Maybe they have braids as well. Armageddon. Oh my gosh. Okay, there go the lands. They can flip their Jace next turn. Their clock is not that fast, though, is the thing. So this might actually be okay. I mean, I have the Signet play. Lost all my islands. That kind of sucks. I have to discard. Yeah, I guess High Tide got pretty bad. I have 0 islands now. They have Jace, so they can Armageddon next turn. No, they need to have 4 mana to do that. The Jace isn't doing much here. But I do need to stop it from ultimating. Okay, I'll start playing the Planeswalkers next turn. If I can hit blue mana at some point, I can use this turnabout defensively to tap their blockers, and then I can attack the Jace. I get 3 turns before they can ultimate, so that's pretty good. I think I should be able to attack through. Unless they can like start playing out more creatures. But I kind of don't know if they have that. I think they were just trying to win off of their Woe Strider plus Jace after this Armageddon. Not sure if they have any more cheap stuff. Wow, balance, that's really good. Choose 2 cards, and I have to discard the rest of these. Keep the Oko, and I'll keep the... No, I'll keep the Tamiyo. Yeah. Very interesting deck from my opponent. I would really like to get the Sylvan into play, but I think I need to be more proactive first. I think I have enough card advantage set up where I can win as long as I stop the Jace. Okay, they cast a Regrowth to bring Golos back to their hand. But that's going to be too slow. Let's see what they do with the tar pit. Okay, they're attacking Oko. I feel like the Golos is going to be too slow. I can elk the Golos. Tamiyo. So I can use Tamiyo to make a Jace. But I don't even think I need to do that. But yeah, these are like the kind of mid-range matchups I was talking about that this deck can win with the fair half of it. Okay, Toxic Deluge, that was pretty good. Now they just have the Golos in hand. What do I want to do with Tamiyo? Let's see, can I win this turn? I can get Infinite Storm this turn, I think. 7 life, so I can ultimate Tamiyo here. Then I can play Hullbreaker Horror. Don't have red mana for the Underworld Breach. It's kind of awkward. I think I should be able to combo off next turn. Oh yeah, I still need the red mana for the Breach. But let's see what happens here. Emrakul, that costs 11 from the notebook. 7 card types? Wow. Okay, what do I want to do here? How much does this Emrakul cost? It costs 4. I guarantee no one has played a cheaper Emrakul before than this. I take their turn. So I'll just bounce the Golos. Okay, they're going to scoop. Okay, we're on the draw. I think that hand is too slow. This hand is also really bad. Okay, this we can keep. This draft has just been a bit of a train wreck. Ritual Storm wasn't open. We tried to go into Blue-Green Storm, and even that really wasn't open. We didn't get the Time Twister, the Fast Bond. Yeah, this is what the really bad decks look like when you try to force Storm. This is why generally I never force Storm. And yeah, forcing is just really bad in draft in general. Okay, that was a good draw. So we have a functional hand now. Forcer, this is the exact card you're looking for when you're mulliganing low, because it can really draw you a lot of lands effectively. So this hand is actually shaping up decently. My opponent missed a land drop. Wow. Okay, they kept a very sketchy hand, it looks like. Discard a 6-drop, okay. So I think I'm just gonna Venser one of their lands here. But yeah, I kind of feel like my opponent won't be able to come back from this. Maybe if they draw balance, balance is good in these situations, but they have 2 tap lands. Now I'm bouncing one of them. Really going to set them back. I'm going to cycle the Shark Typhoon. Let's try to hit another land drop here. Okay, cool, that worked. But yeah, balance could get them back in the game. Oh, they have Toxic Deluge as well. Yeah, they did have the balance. Okay. They are going to lose 3 cards here out of their hand. They discarded Creeping Tar Pit. It's kind of weird. Maybe they were just slow rolling these land drops at the beginning of the game to try to balance away my lands. I've never seen someone do that before. I don't know if that's like a winning strategy, but maybe I was playing into their balance with my Venser play. Okay, their deck does look like a good Uro deck. I mean, their graveyard is just totally filled with cards. They need another green mana, though. Okay, so I can Tamiyo or Escape to the Wilds. Let's just get 2 Planeswalkers into play. I know that they have another sweeper in their deck with the Toxic Deluge, so just diversify the board position. These Planeswalkers will be hard to deal with. I do want this Tamiyo to survive, so eventually I can use it to lock down the Uro. But I can also Elk the Uro. Yeah, I have lots of answers. Okay, there's the Life from the Loam. Interesting, they're like a Armageddon Life from the Loam deck. So Uro will be coming down next turn. And I'm just going to Escape to the Wilds. I think they're going to be too far behind here. Okay, they cast Regrowth to get back Red Elemental Blast. That's pretty good, actually. I think I'm just gonna win with my creatures here. Could go for Underworld Breach. 7. I have 8 mana. Breach will leave me with 6 mana. Get High Tide. Play Shark Typhoon. Honestly, I'm just over this draft. Let's just play these cards. And let's just try to win with these creatures. I feel like I'm like a little bit too far away from comboing off with Underworld Breach there. Because I would need to draw into my Brain Freeze somehow. Maybe with the Charter Course, but yeah, there's no guarantee that that's going to work. Okay, hold on. Did I not get the Consecrated Sphinx trigger? Did I just like click through it? Oh, they returned life from the loam. That's so funny. That gets around Consecrated Sphinx. Nice. I think the only way I can lose here is to like some Time Warps or Time Walks. Maybe to a Wrath of God? Yeah, they can't even Toxic Deluge because they only have 4 life. Alright, sweet. Salvaged 1 win with this deck. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.